The opinions expressed in the following program are not necessarily those of KMED, Bi-Coastal Rogue Valley radio stations, or any of our sponsors.
It's time to gather around the radio for this weekend's edition of The Real Estate Show, a weekly discussion about the Jackson and Josephine County real estate market and how it affects you. Today's show is presented in part by RE/MAX Ideal Brokers of Southern Oregon, Ticor Title, All Cities Property Management, and Jackson Soil and Water Conservation District. Our purpose is to help you enhance the value of your property and to be a smart real estate consumer. Visit our website at realestateshowOregon.com or watch our shows at youtube.com/Real Estate Show Oregon. The Real Estate Show is next on KMED. Here they come, the real estate guys, Pete Belcastro and Joe Brett.
And hello, everyone. Welcome to the Real Estate Show on KMED this weekend. Pete Belcastro and Joe Brett, the real estate guys, with you. And hey, it's the final weekend of November. The stampede is on now to Christmas, right, Joe? I mean, this is it. Hope you had a great Thanksgiving and on to football weekend and lots of good stuff ahead.
If there's a stampede like at the mall or someplace like that, I probably won't be part of it. In fact, if you get me there once during the Christmas season, that'll be it.
Well, what are the three things that you do on Thanksgiving? It's football, it's shopping, and it's food, right? And drinking, I get drink too, I suppose. There's some of that, a little bit of that.
I've got three of those, but shopping didn't make the cut.
Anyway, me either. I just know I used to do that. You did that years ago.
100 miles at the mall.
Anyway, today on the Real Estate Show, we're going to talk some mortgage interest rates and what's going on with that. Last week when Barbara Brown was with us from RE/MAX, the new principal broker, RE/MAX Ideal Brokers, we're talking about interest rates we're doing and the kind of things we're going on there. So who better to talk about that than Guy Giles from Summit Funding? And we'll get with Guy here what's the latest information he's got for us. I'm sure it's going to be really good. Next week, a property management week will be along. Laurel Adams will be along, and we'll check in on the rental market, what that's been doing as we now head into December and winter. A lot of things change. I think as we head into that as well. We've also got a cable TV show coming up on Tuesday, December the 9th at 6 o'clock on RVTV Charter Cable Channel 180 or Ashen HomeNet Channel 9. We'll have a Market Watch show there. We'll update you on the end of the year. Our end of the year report will be in December. And we'll have a date with the home builders, and Brad Bennington will be there. We'll update you on that as well. That's coming up, though, in December.
On the rental market issue we'll talk about next week, I just had a client that closed a deal up in East Medford up on Hathaway up there. Got a pretty good bargain on a house he actually bought online. If he gets for rent what he's going to post it at, and probably will, it's pushing 2,000. It's 2,500 square feet, 4 bedrooms. But my goodness, it's a pretty lucrative deal if you can make it pencil like that. And so I'll give you a report on what we get for the rent up there. But it's a tight rental market, so it's really kind of driving. That's a kind of a prime East Medford property. It's probably going to do very well.
Oh, people selling rentals. I mean, 3-bedroom, 2-bath houses, rentals. You can't find them and everything like that. It's a lot going on underneath kind of what seems to be a pretty good fall market in real estate as prices have come up. Although really, you start looking at the tours and everything. That's really dropped off now. Not as many homes available, not as many new ones coming up on the market. But
there
in the
are
meantime,
some good market conditions for those who are in the market.
There's some really good deals if people look around as well. We're going to talk mortgage interest rates today on the Real Estate Show. Guy Giles from Summit Funding will be along next right here. This show repeats at 9 o'clock on Sunday morning here on KMED AM and FM. And all of our shows, you can watch them at youtube.com/Real Estate Show Oregon. Pete and Joe are coming right back after this.
Ticor Title has been the leader in title and escrow services. Hello, I'm Shelley Culbertson, Sales and Marketing Manager for Ticor Title. From the simplest to the most complex residential and commercial real estate transactions, you will get experienced, knowledgeable, and professional assistance from our title and escrow staff. With Ticor Title, our financial strength coupled with our exceptional customer service means that your needs are taken care of.
Hoping to sell a home in today's real estate market? Wondering if it's the right time to buy? Get the facts. from RE/MAX.
RE/MAX Ideal Brokers is now part of the Real Estate Show. They're a full-service brokerage with offices in Medford and Grants Pass. Hey, you know what you want. We know how to make it happen. That's what makes RE/MAX an ideal partner. Learn more at idealbrokersinc.com.
Nobody sells more real estate than RE/MAX. Find out what RE/MAX can do for you. Where do you want to be? Each office independently owned and operated.
The purpose of the Jackson Soil and Water Conservation District is to encourage good stewardship of land and water for rural and urban property owners. To achieve that, the district holds numerous classes throughout the year, and now is the time to sign up for them at jswcd.org. Many are taught by district staff and include topics like pasture and small woodlands management, soil types, and rain gardens. Popular natural resources day camps this summer. Find out more at jswcd.org. Most services are free. Knowledge gained, priceless.
All Cities Property Management is now part of the Real Estate Show. All Cities covers all phases in residential management of homes, condos, apartments, duplexes to fourplexes, and homeowner associations. For photos and visual tours of available properties, visit them online, allcitiesprop.com. Accurate accounting and tenant screenings, professionally done showings, and a full-time staff are all reasons why All Cities is #1 in owner and renter satisfaction. Call them at 245-8811.
At Ticor Title, we are experts at handling real estate transactions. Hello, I'm Shelley Culbertson, Sales and Marketing Manager for Ticor Title. From the simplest to the most complex real estate transactions, our staff is the reason customers continually turn to us for the reliability, responsiveness, and security they demand. Our title and escrow departments are structured to provide the highest level of customer service. We are committed to closing transactions quickly and efficiently.
So Miracle Shield is going on 36 years, and you can see why. About 8 years ago or so, I bought a new car and I got the lifetime Miracle Shield treatment. And over the years, that's gotten me hand washes for only $6. $6. And I gotta say, this exclusive lifetime warranty is a real bargain. There's no machinery, no metal tracks touch my vehicle, and it's still the same price it's been forever. And in 2014, that is a great deal. So when I started thinking about trading in my car, the owner of Miracle Shield, Dennis Weiler, said they'd go over the entire vehicle for free, all because of my exclusive lifetime warranty. And after my trade-in, I got top dollar because the paint looked great. So just guess, who's gonna be protecting my new vehicle? Miracle Shield, because I know I'll get that showroom look that lasts for years, all backed by their exclusive lifetime warranty that gives me those hand washes for only $6. Now that's a miracle. Wow, you gotta try it. They're open Tuesday through Saturday at 617 South Riverside, right under that green duck walk coffee canopy. Thanks, Miracle Shield, for 36 years of protecting our vehicles.
What if your brother
or your husband?
What if your son came back from the service with a spinal cord injury?
When they volunteer to serve, we expect our country to be there for them if they are injured.
For more than 60 years, Paralyzed Veterans of America has been fighting to ensure that we receive all of the benefits that we've earned.
Thank you, Paralyzed Veterans, for helping my husband,
my son,
for helping my brother.
You too can help. Visit pva.org, a public service of Paralyzed Veterans of America.
Welcome to the Real Estate Show on KMED this holiday weekend. Pete Belcaster and Joe Brett, the real estate guys, with you as we move on to the last weekend through November and head into Christmas season and more holidays and I guess more fun, for more people, isn't it? Yeah, some snow. We got some snow the last time was this last week. A little bit, not enough. But some snow, those are good. Those are good signs.
Almost as much we got all this last year in the mountains, so we'll take it. Anything we can get, we'll take.
That's for sure.
Hope people are having a really nice time. Had some good time with their families with the Thanksgiving holiday. It's a great time to get together and have a little fellowship that way.
I was used to work when I was back in the news days. I used to work on
Christmas,
Thanksgiving Day.
Thanksgiving.
I liked Thanksgiving Day to work because there was always neat stories to tell. Lots of things would happen on that day and the day after.
You kind of got to step outside
but not anymore.
Doom and gloom that leads the news. If it bleeds, it leads type of news.
Welcome to our show today. Well, mortgage interest rates are always out there when you're looking at properties. And who better to talk about that? Guy Giles from Summit Funding is with us, and he's our resident expert when it comes to all things mortgage interest rates. True?
Yeah. They're still hanging in there.
Happy holidays to you as well.
Hey, well, Merry Christmas.
I heard the best thing yesterday. Everyone says that. Just say happy everything. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas. Say happy everything. You like that? No.
I still struggle with
Merry
that.
Christmas, Pete.
Anyway, I have
Very good.
well, guys, and guys brought along with him also another mortgage loan officer from Summit Funding, and that is Brett Funk. And Brett's first time to the show. Nice to have you here as well, Brett.
Thanks for having me.
Talk right into that microphone there. You've been a mortgage loan officer for some time. Tell us how you got to get together with Guy here at Summit Funding.
Oh boy, I've been in the loan business for since 2002, and most recently made a change from the depository bank side of things and decided to go with Summit Funding, which is just purely a mortgage expert.
Yeah.
I like the fact that we're not dealing with the deposits anymore, and we're just focusing mainly on the loans.
So what's the difference then? I'm curious as you say that. When you say bank, like the big banks, I mean banks, right, that do mortgage loans, what's the difference that you found that?
I find the biggest difference is Summit, for example, specializes in just mortgages.
That's just what they do.
That's just what we do, instead of having fingers in all kinds of different pots and being spread too thin and not having the resources where they truly need to be.
Oh, okay.
And Brett's story sounds strangely familiar to Guy's story.
Well, yeah, I was.
It's true.
I was just kind of in the same boat. You walk in and one day they give you a big old hug at the big banks and they say, yeah, we love mortgages. And the next day you walk in and your sign's gone and there's something about investments where that used to be. And it seemed like there was just always a constant struggle. And now it's just nice to be able to focus on what we do and do it well.
Yeah.
So
Brett, so you switched then at that point.
Yeah, just last July.
And how has been that experience then for you, coming from the bank side to the mortgage side, or at least the company side of those?
Very freeing, actually. It's how do you put that? I'd basically say that it is very freeing in the sense that because we only focus on mortgages, we've got the tools. If we need the tools, we can call and they get them to us, rather than having to go through all the corporate stuff and see if they need it, see if they truly need it, and do all this and all that. It's I don't know how else to put it.
And the other side to that, even on a more practical level, is it always seemed like a race to mediocrity when it came to doing mortgages. So, for instance, Fannie Mae and Fannie Mae, there's Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae, the government-sponsored entities that are basically controlled by the government now, but they allow them to do loans up to $417,000. And they may only require 1 month bank statements or maybe 1 year self-employed, but the bank would say, hey, we just want 2 years or we want 2 or 3 months, and it all had to do with them packaging up their deals and selling them off to Fannie and Freddie. So if one of the big guys or one of the banks says, hey, we asked for 2 months, even though you only really want 1 month, well, when you go to sell your loans off, you might look a little bit better to that investor. So you see that a lot with these guys, and there's almost like they're competing to say, well, we'll make it 3 months, or we'll make it 2.5 years, or just make it a little bit harder. And so at the end of the day, that their loans might look a little bit better, but Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac may have never even required all of that extra documentation. So we just kind of go more by what actually we're a direct lender with both of those guys and the government with Ginnie Mae. So we can just say, look, this is what they require, this is what we're going to provide, and we put together a good solid loan.
Yeah, it sounds like a whole lot of great documentation to help my case in that secondary loan market, but it's also a lot of my time and my effort that I didn't need to give you or provide for you.
And it can open a can of worms.
Yeah, another good point.
Kill a couple of good loans.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. We've seen that before.
We don't like to kill loans because that
kills deals.
That kills deals, and that's not good for anybody, especially the buyer who's trying to do that as well. Well, so the last 3 months, for say, what's the loans that you guys are processing? Is it a certain type? Tell us, just kind of give us an update of our own local market here of what are you seeing come through the door, and what are you financing right now?
I'm financing mainly conventional loans and quite a few of the investment properties as well.
Okay.
And then occasionally we do see a refinance, or I've seen a refinance because property values are back up and people, especially on the investment side, might be pulling some money out to look at buying another investment home.
Well, let me ask you this question, Brendan. We're talking with Brett Funk, by the way, and the guy Giles from Summit Funding today on the Real Estate Show. Why? I look at statistics that actually Frank Mania provides us, all the time from Tycorp. Why is it that it seems like depository banks, as you call them, the banks, do most of the refinancing business? It seems. Is that an accurate statement? I mean, I see tons in like Wells Fargo, for example, things like that. Do banks do most of that?
I believe it's because of their database is large enough to where they actually go through and find out where people are at and send them notes. So they basically reach them, my theory is, before we get to them.
Okay, but they do a lot. I mean, from the statistics that I see,
yeah.
I mean, everybody does them, but I'm saying big banks seem to do a predominant refinancing of things. But anyway,
yeah, they have a pretty big interest on trying to get that person to refinance with them, because that way they can stay in front of them every month for the banking deposits and all the other parts that you can make money on, fees and things. So they do tend to do a lot of refinance, and that was a lot of the reason that I left the bank, also for a bunch of reasons, but a lot of it just had to do with the fact that if you want to live in a refinance world, stay at a big bank. If you want to, kind of venture out into the purchase business, which that's really where our market's headed over the last few years, and really where it's still going in a lot of ways. It's just good to be out and be able to do.
I'd rather do those is what you're saying. I mean, I'd rather do it that way.
I just feel like I would have more tools at my disposal for the end, and my client would get the best possible options, and the best possible opportunities available to them that might not avail themselves at a bigger bank that wants to sell certain types of loans. I've seen that with clients who have shopped around a little bit to pre-prove and to learn about that not all, they don't have USDA sometimes. They have just certain programs that kind of steer you towards.
No, it's true, and that's kind of why we're the best of both worlds. Like I said, we are a direct lender with Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, and Ginnie Mae, but we also have that second layer where we can look, and if Chase, for instance, has a really good program, I can look at their programs also. We're a correspondent lender with the big guys also, not Bank of America, but the other big guys. So I don't necessarily sell to them. I think I've only kind of put one loan off that wasn't in this whole year, so it doesn't happen that frequent that they have a better program than us, but I can actually still look at us, then I can look at them, and then I have about 34 other brokers that I can look at. So at the end of the day, if you come to us, it's kind of like going around and shopping all those guys, but you get to do it at one place. And we don't, just so everybody knows, with a lot of the new legislation, and by the way, it was good legislation, kind of put us on the same playing field. So if I put you into a good loan or a bad loan program, we're not compensated on what program we put you into or how much we charge you for that. We get paid the same. So with all of those different resources at our disposal, we have all the reason in the world to find you the best product, because it's not going to, there's not a delicate way to put it, because you don't ever want to sound like, we're just money driven or something. But it is a nice feeling to know that I'm just going to do what's best for this client. And I have all of these different places that I can look to find it for them. And, that nobody ever has to worry that we're going to make an extra buck by doing the wrong thing for you.
And I got all those trips to the mall and all that shopping to do. I don't have time to shop those other 34. I need you to do that for me so I can hit the Black Friday savings.
If I'll do that for you, if you'll do my shopping for me, because I don't like them all.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't too many years ago that 87% of all loans in this country were FHA loans. Remember that?
Yeah.
And I hardly hear you guys even talk about FHA loans anymore. What has happened? Why, as you're both saying that you're mostly doing conventional loans again, which require more down payment kinds of things. So what's the story with FHA? I mean, is it done, or where are we at, Brett? Tell us about that.
Well, there's a couple of reasons for that. FHA is still 3.5% down, but they've made the monthly mortgage insurance extremely expensive, and they've made it with the FHA for the life of the loan for the most part.
Where you used to be able to pay that got to 80%, and that went away.
78, I believe.
Yeah.
Yep, and then it would go away. And then again, on the other side of things, conventional's gone to basically to where 95%, so 5% down program, so another 1.5%. But the monthly mortgage insurance has come back into the market, the private mortgage insurance, and it's much less expensive. And
what's the difference when you say it's more expensive, less expensive mortgage insurance? Well, give me an example of what that would be. Can you?
Oh, well, I would say in cases that the private
probably twice as much.
That's what I would say.
Wow.
At least, yeah.
The government FHA mortgage insurance is twice what the private market is doing?
At least.
Really?
Yeah. And again, like you said, it's for the life of the loan. So what happens 4 years down the road if we don't get the appreciation like we've been seeing, and you're just kind of breaking even, you're never going to get rid of that mortgage insurance, but you can actually pay the thing down on a conventional loan. And I think to speak, a little bit more to what he was saying about the difference in 3.5% down and 5% down, you can still, you can get that other 1.5% gifted from a family member or somebody, and then you can do your whole 5% as gift funds now on Fannie Mae. So it's kind of a nice option to get away. And FHA, you're right. Historically, it's been a great program for people to get into the housing market, but unfortunately, they needed some liquidity, so they've made it a little bit more expensive for people to get into those loans.
But if nobody does the loans, I mean, when was the last time you guys did an FHA loan?
Oh, we still do them.
You're still doing it?
Yeah, there's some benefits to it when you're talking about low credit scores. They're a little more lenient. They're a little more lenient on the bankruptcy side. FHA will do it 2 years out of a bankruptcy.
So those would be some of the reasons I would still want to do that. So it's not necessarily that it's bad or it's leaving.
Yeah,
I was thinking the way it seems like no one's going to do an FHA loan. The program's going to fall away. It's going to be gone.
If it's a difference in being able to get into the market or not being able to get in the market, you definitely want to do it. I mean, you can do flips less than 90 days on FHA, which is kind of a nice one for them.
A flip
meaning that if somebody bought the house and they could resell the thing without having to wait the 90 days like you typically would for a regular loan. Credit scores, sometimes you can go all the way down to 580 credit scores
on an FHA loan.
Yeah.
And what are your conventional loans credit scores today that you're seeing that are required for those types of those loans?
Generally, like 620.
620.
Yeah.
All right.
So I mean, it's still pretty low as far as that goes.
580 to 620. I don't know how much that. How much is the difference there?
Question, and I hope this doesn't sound like a really dumb question, but I hope Bill Meyer's not listening. Is there a chance the government would at some point say this life of the term mortgage insurance is kind of killing my business a little bit? I know they instilled it so that they could have liquidity, as you mentioned. Is there going to be a point where they might have to say, hey, maybe that wasn't people are adding that up over the term of the loan and finding that there are other options out there that are probably better. So are they just going to narrow themselves into that market of people who have these special needs and requirements that FHA can meet, or?
Well, at the end of the day, they don't want to buy back a bunch of loans, so I don't really see them easing up on other things. Because I mean, I kind of get where you're going on this. Are they going to make some changes or something to be able to attract a market that they're clearly losing right now?
Right. If I had a decent credit score, I get a loan without that lifelong mortgage insurance deduction. To me, that's like a no-brainer.
Yeah, it is. And I mean, like he was saying, I mean, they'll deal with a little bit higher debt to income ratios. There are a few different instances where people fit into that. And that's another thing that we've tried to do. We are not credit repair people. We can't tout ourselves as that, but we're actually really good at looking at a credit report and helping people, try to make the right moves to get their score up a little bit. So we're, I don't know. It's going to be around. I don't really see them. They haven't really loosened anything up in a while now since they jacked that up. So I don't know. I don't ever see the government getting much smaller, you can't do that on less money.
At the end of the day, that was my notion. Was like once they add fees and charges and things like that, they rarely reverse those.
Well, it certainly seems that they're trying to get you to refinance your property after so many years with an FHA loan, because who in the world is going to want to keep a mortgage insurance payment that these guys are saying is twice what would be the private market and keep that for the life of the loan? It doesn't make any sense.
When it could go away on that other loan.
I've actually been saying that for a few years, because their rates are a little bit lower on the government stuff than they are on the conventional side. And so, you can get them attracted in. And then I think at some point, they don't ever want to have those loans for the next 30 years, 30, 40 years, I guess. I should know that better than anybody for the next 30 years or so. So I do think that they're counting on people refinancing out of those loans. And
well, and we saw that in USDA loans that they added a 1%. Remember, they ran out of money. They added a 1% charge to it, right?
Mm-hmm.
A loan fee charge on all USDA loans. And USDA today has the lowest default rate of any federal program in the country. But it seems like it's punitive, which they're doing in the FHA loans, by requiring that mortgage insurance for the life of the loan. That's punitive versus a fee to cover the cost. I don't get that. And it's really hurt people.
It is still less than a third of what the mortgage insurance is on an FHA loan, even on the USDA.
Hey, wow. We're with Guy Giles and Brent Funk from Summit Funding today on the Real Estate Show in KMED. Up against a break. We're coming right back. This show repeats 9 o'clock Sunday morning. Coming right back after this.
Hoping to sell a home in today's real estate market? Wondering if it's the right time to buy? Get the facts from RE/MAX.
RE/MAX Ideal Brokers of Medford and Grants Pass invite you to take advantage of our residential, rural, and commercial real estate experts in the local markets. Visit us at idealbrokersinc.com to search for properties or find an agent.
Nobody sells more real estate than RE/MAX. Find out what RE/MAX can do for you. Where do you want to be? Each office independently owned and operated.
Rogue Valley residents are changing the way we view and use land and water. And with our climate in flux, the Jackson Soil Water Conservation District is needed now more than ever to assist rural and urban landowners in managing our lands. Visit our website at jswcd.org. Learn how to put up rain barrel catchment systems, manage pasture and small woodlands, or even learn how to deal with drought conditions on your land. The Jackson Soil Water Conservation District is dedicated to enhancing the value of your property. Most services are free. Knowledge gained, priceless.
Managing rental properties takes a person with special skills to mediate landlord-tenant relations, a person knowledgeable of the laws governing fair housing, and there's a lot of them, and a person with experience and a track record of success. It's fair to say that Laurel Adams, owner of All Cities Property Management, is that type of person. Landlords trust her advice, tenants know they're treated fairly. I wouldn't trust my rental property management to anybody but Laurel Adams and her staff at All Cities Property Management. To view available rentals, visit them at allcitiesprop.com.
Ticor Title has been the leader in title and escrow services. Hello, I'm Shelley Culbertson, Sales and Marketing Manager for Ticor Title. From the simplest to the most complex residential and commercial real estate transactions, you will get experienced, knowledgeable, and professional assistance from our title and escrow staff. With Ticor Title, our financial strength coupled with our exceptional customer service means that your needs are taken care of.
Don't let time tick away while you do nothing. In the last few years, that's what many businesses did about advertising. Nothing. Because they cut their advertising budgets. So what ended up in their pockets? You guessed it. Right now, you're listening to radio, and that's something. So visit this website when it's convenient and learn how easy it is to advertise on radio. And see the study on the top online marketing trends for 2014. It's really something, too.
Don't wait any longer. Make this moment count for something. Visit medfordadvertising.com.
Celebrating 11 years of saving kids. The Brittany Ride event and Seven Feathers Casino Resort welcomes America October 10th.
Tickets on sale June 11th.
Details at BrittanyRide.com.
This is a Fox News alert. I'm Lillian Wu. An American prisoner of war in Afghanistan is now free.
I've spoken to a senior U.S. defense official who tells me that Bo Bergdahl is in good shape. He is, according to this official, he has lost some weight. He is scared. He clearly is a little disoriented and weakened after years of being held in captivity by the Taliban.
Fox's Jennifer Griffin saying the release of Bergdahl, taken in 2009, comes at a price.
There are 5 Guantanamo prisoners who are being released, and they are, Taliban commanders who will likely be back out on the battlefield at some point.
The president says he's called Bergdahl's parents to, quote, express our joy that they can expect his safe return. The handover following indirect negotiations between the U.S. and the Taliban, with the government of Qatar serving as a go-between. This is a Fox News alert.
The Real Estate Show continues here on KMED this Thanksgiving weekend, last weekend of November. Pete and Joe, the real estate guys, with you. And you know, we get together with you every weekend here on KMED AM and FM, talk about real estate and real estate-related issues surrounding Jackson and Josephine County. Boy, did we learn a lot, don't we? I mean, just in our recent shows, we had the Jackson County Assessor has been on talking property taxes. We've had economic development issues about jobs and some of the great work that is going on really so much behind the scenes and trying to get better paying jobs here in Jackson County. As we know, it's such an issue with real estate and how that relates and all that kind of thing. So there's a lot going on in our shows. You can watch so many of them at youtube.com/Real Estate Show Oregon. That's where they all end up at. We're with Guy Giles and Brett Funk from Summit Funding, our resident mortgage experts here on the Real Estate Show. And, you know, one of the things that you guys get a chance, much like, I guess, real estate brokers do, in advance, when things happen, when things are, you kind of a little bit ahead of the game, right? You know, before like the news gets it.
They got their finger on the pulse.
The
of
finger on the
market.
pulse. That's another good way to describe it. So tell me what you've got in the future, because you're saying that your dockets are not empty. That, I mean, the cupboard again is not bare. Tell me what that means.
I'm not sure what you just said, but if you're talking about kind of what's coming down the line as far as clients and people
in your portfolio, you've been talking to people.
Well, I've been talking to a ton of people that are looking to move here, and it seems to be from 3 different places, actually 4 different places now. California's obviously always been a big one for us. People down there are moving up. They bought their house a while back, and then when the whole recession hit, they weren't really able to sell it, and all of them were wanting to get $1 million out of it, but now they're realizing, hey, I'm getting closer to retirement, and so maybe just pulling $400,000 or $500,000 out of it will be good enough to make me move up here, and I need to pull the trigger. So we started seeing it this last year, and I probably got, and I'm not exaggerating, maybe 30 to 50 people right now that are just ready to move here, but maybe slowed down over the winter time that say, hey, look, as soon as the new year hits, or as soon as springtime hits, or as soon as, I don't know, just the warmer weather hits. So we're going to have people coming from, California, like I said.
Where are the other 3?
Washington is another
State?
one.
Okay.
Just kind of getting out of the rain. And these are just actually stories that I keep hearing over and over. So we got Idaho. People don't want to shovel the snow anymore. And Colorado. I don't know where that came from, but Colorado's the other one.
Interesting.
So they're coming.
Well,
be ready.
I think are these buyers that obviously they're getting loans on these properties, and what's the range, Guy, that they tend to look at? Would you say in the price range of homes around?
Well, for these guys, especially the Californians, I mean, they're in between $300,000 and $600,000.
Okay.
If you get a more conservative one, maybe down into the mid 2s, but everything's pretty much a bargain compared to what they've been dealing with down there for the last 15, 20 years.
And most of these people that you talk with, are they retirees coming up, or are they younger people looking for work coming up here, have jobs, or kind of what's that?
Well, I've had 3 doctors move into town lately, so I think that's a little bit of it. A couple of them from the East Coast.
Okay, that's work related.
We're going to have to take care of all these people moving here.
All the old people moving here, yes.
Yeah, and there's a lot of them. I met with a gal today that's moving here from California. She'll be here in 3 to 4 years, so she'll just buy a second home for now and fix it up the way she wants it, come stay in it for the summers. And
wow, that far out. She's got her plans laid. And everybody
is starting to think that way. I have a lot of people buying second homes.
Well, remember, in the baby boom generation, of which I'm certainly, and I don't know if any of you guys are, but it's 10,000 people a day retire in this country for 10 years, so that's a lot of people, and a lot of people to move and to change into housing changes, as you well know. So it's really interesting how it's going to go. So, Guy, you don't say anything different than what we hear from the people from So Ready, the Southern Oregon Regional Economic Development Association. The people are coming here. They're coming for jobs. More so, I mean, than I think we think. We think they're all coming to retire, and that's not necessarily true.
When we create the jobs, they really will come. That's our big hurdle to clear in the future going forward. It's great we have these folks who are coming later and kind of the equity refugees that are fuel our market and find it such a favorable place to live. And we had to have jobs for younger families to be able to afford homes, and there's a gap there we got to fill. We're working on it.
Yeah. All right. Tell me about what's the world of foreclosures that you guys deal with in the loaning world out there. Is there any news on that? I mean, we certainly don't see very many
Guy tries to write loans that don't foreclose.
Short sales properties anymore. Do you guys deal with anything like that at all?
Yeah, we try not to deal with foreclosures. Our bosses frown on that.
Well, yeah, but do you loan on these properties? Have you been doing any of that, or is that just totally like a dead market right now?
You mean like buyers that are picking off foreclosed?
Well, they're not there. I mean, they're not there anymore.
Well, there's not a bunch of them.
I mean, there's not very much that's left.
There isn't. I mean, the only time I really even hear about them these days, believe it or not, is somebody that found the old Trulia ad that's got this house on there that they think is for sale, and none of us really know if it's, when it's actually coming up with the judicial foreclosures. I always stumble on that word. But yeah, we're seeing a lot fewer houses. I think there's still incentive to try to keep people in those if they can. It wasn't really working out for a long time, but I'm not seeing a ton of foreclosures anymore.
And that Hathaway property I talked about in East Medford, that was an online auction.
You did
that was a foreclosed property that they had, and it has to do with the judicial foreclosures, and it's got to a point where they wanted to liquidate that property, and if you hit their selling point in the auction, the winning bid won it. So,
man,
isn't that interesting how that's being done now? I mean, on an auction, you don't get any chance. Remember, with all the stories, all the shows that we've done about don't buy properties, on the courthouse steps at auctions because you don't know what you're, getting, and et cetera, et cetera. But you did that. You took the risk.
Well,
didn't you?
it was listed through a local agent, and there were title reports, and all of those things came. It was a little different than the courthouse steps, where it's all on you to go get that title information, get that background information. This came with the deal as part of the online part of it, but property that sold is only 7-8 years old, and it's sold probably 5 years ago, over $400,000, went for under $240. So
on Hathaway,
yeah.
They're still.
So I'm telling you, I've got really happy clients, and that's the one that's going to really pencil as a rental for them as well, and do really well.
They come up quickly, and as you know, I had one foreclosed property with a client, and there were so many bids on it that they took it off the market and raised the price by $22,000.
I was right about the same time. Yeah, we're just working on that.
We're both doing that together. I mean, that's crazy, So, but when they're out there, they're grabbed, it seems, but there's certainly not very many out there. So you have to be ready. So my point, I suppose, is being with this is that if you're in that market, you got to be ready to go, with you guys, with a lender, correct?
And with a lender that can close on time, because for what you're saying, I mean, theoretically, if you had a house that you're selling for $100,000 and you get, some lender that you found online that may have offering some 2.5% rate that is not real, but it sounds good. And when you're looking at it, I always say, what the big print giveth, the little print taketh away.
It's good.
Yeah. So you get up there, you get ready to close, and all of a sudden that seller just noticed that 3 houses in their neighborhood sold for $110,000, and they start, if you're not able to close that loan on time, theoretically you're out of contract. They may not extend that lock or that close of escrow. So if you're not with someplace that you're sure that can close you, that someplace you can go down and beat on the door and know that you have a local person to talk to, it's really difficult, because they could take the house off the market and then raise it up $5,000-$10,000, and then all of a sudden you're out the cost of an appraisal and everything else.
Lending delays are a big part of close extensions.
Yes,
they're a big part of the timing, kind of getting thrown off, and you got people who are moving out, people who are moving in, people who are moving to new properties, and the timing of all that is really essential to stay as close to as you can.
Yeah, because at the end, it comes down to the bottom line at the end of the transaction is that the loan has got to go through, right? The money's got to be transferred. That's like the last thing, right?
No money, no keys.
So unless you guys are satisfied, right? I mean, nothing's going to happen, right? The mortgage lender has the final say at the end, right? With the final check off.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's again, we just work really hard to get all our ducks in a row beforehand, so it's not a big rush at the end.
Now, but there's interestingness. The foreclosure world that was so prevalent when we started our show in 2009 has almost run its course. Yep. I see very few HUD homes still, very, very few, and we see very few home path. Even though they still come on, there are not very many of them, and like I say, they don't last there very long as we do.
And normal foreclosures are about 5% or less of a normal market. We're almost back to right about that level.
All right, the Real Estate Show. One more segment to go. We're with Guy Giles and Brett Funk from Summit Funding, talking all things mortgage interest rates today on the Real Estate Show. This show repeats at 9 o'clock Sunday morning here on KMED, and we're coming right back after this.
Hoping to sell a home in today's real estate market? Wondering if it's the right time to buy? Get the facts from RE/MAX.
RE/MAX Ideal Brokers is now part of the Real Estate Show. They're a full-service brokerage with offices in Medford and Grants Pass. Hey, you know what you want. We know how to make it happen. That's what makes RE/MAX an ideal partner. Learn more at idealbrokersinc.com.
Nobody sells more real estate than RE/MAX. Find out what RE/MAX can do for you. Where do you want to be? Each office independently owned and operated.
The purpose of the Jackson Soil and Water Conservation District is to encourage good stewardship of land and water for rural and urban property owners. To achieve that, the district holds numerous classes throughout the year, and now is the time to sign up for them at jswcd.org. Many are taught by district staff, and include topics like pasture and small woodlands management, soil types, and rain gardens. Popular natural resources day camps this summer. Find out more at jswcd.org. Most services are free. Knowledge gained, priceless.
All Cities Property Management is now part of the Real Estate Show. All Cities covers all phases in residential management of homes, condos, apartments, duplexes to fourplexes, and homeowner associations. For photos and visual tours of available properties, visit them online, allcitiesprop.com. Accurate accounting and tenant screenings, professionally done showings, and a full-time staff are all reasons why All Cities is #1 in owner and renter satisfaction. Call them at 245-8811.
At Ticor Title, we are experts in handling real estate transactions. Hello, I'm Shelley Culbertson, Sales and Marketing Manager for Ticor Title. From the simplest to the most complex real estate transactions, our staff is the reason customers continually turn to us for the reliability, responsiveness, and security they demand. Our title and escrow departments are structured to provide the highest level of customer service. We are committed to closing transactions quickly and efficiently.
Hoping to sell a home in today's real estate market? Wondering if it's the right time to buy? Get the facts from RE/MAX.
RE/MAX Ideal Brokers of Medford and Grants Pass invite you to take advantage of our residential, rural, and commercial real estate experts in the local markets. Visit us at idealbrokersinc.com to search for properties or find an agent.
Nobody sells more real estate than RE/MAX. Find out what RE/MAX can do for you. Where do you want to be? Each office independently owned and operated.
The Home Builders Association of Josephine County present the 36th Annual Spring Home and Garden Show this weekend at the Josephine County Fairgrounds in Grants Pass. Admission is only $3 and 16 and under are free. A portion of the proceeds will benefit Relay for Life. Top home improvement professionals will be available with money-saving ideas and the latest and greatest products to build, remodel, or rejuvenate your home and yard. Evergreen Federal Bank, McKenna Homes, Rogue Valley Heating and Air, Fields Home Improvement, Cabinet Crafters, IndoorAirman.com Energy Conservation Specialists. There's something for everyone at the Spring Home and Garden Show. In addition to all the great vendors, each day has something new. Saturday from 9 to 5, come check out the classic cars. Sunday from 10 to 4, bring the kids to see Annie the Clown, enjoy face painting, and much more. The Spring Home Show is this weekend at the Josephine County Fairgrounds in Grants Pass.
A flat tire can ruin your day, but an improper tire repair can put your family at risk. When that next pesky nail punctures your tire, remember this. Repairs are limited to the inner tread area only, never the sidewall. And punctured tires must be removed from the rim to assess and fix damage on both the inside of the tire and the outside. Learn more, visit betiresmart.org. A message from the Rubber Manufacturers Association.
The Real Estate Show continues here on KMED this holiday weekend. Hope it's going well for you. You're shopping out there this weekend as well. A lot of football going on is certainly. And, well, it's Joe and I favorite time of the year. We like it. And, of course, you can also answer any real estate questions you have. You can email us at Pete or Joe at realestateshoworegon.com. Next week, we'll be talking with Laurel Adams. We'll update you on the Jackson County rental market, Southern Oregon rental market, and what's going on with that. Last time, still around less than 2% of vacancy rate, different places. And, just like real estate in general, it's kind of supply and demand. It really does work, or it works at supply and demand. But right now, the supply in rentals is exceeding the demand.
Am I a bad person that if you got your toe stepped on in a jam on Black Friday at 6 a.m. trying to get in the door, I don't feel sorry for you? Does that make me bad, like the Grinch?
Yes. Who in the world would do it? Well, anyway, before we get out of here,
Black Friday starts Thursday night now. Am I wrong?
Thursday day from a commercial I saw.
That's wrong.
That's wrong.
Well, before we let you get out of here,
we gotta fix that.
I just want to we're with Guy Giles and Brent Funk from Summit Funding, our resident mortgage experts. Let me just ask you guys just a quick question. Construction loans that are out there, just to go on there, because I know that we're seeing in our statistics so much more building going on. This last reporting period was like 59. We can remember few years ago, there was like one. Remember, there was like
we didn't
nothing.
do that
There was
for the
nothing.
year.
There was no building going on. Is it difficult to get loans, or what should a person do to get started in that kind of a thing, Guy? If they're interested in that, and as you say, I mean, we're building again. There's no question about that.
Well, there's no doubt. I mean, you want to work with a good builder, and there's quite a few around town. You just get your plans and your specs together, and basically you come in and meet with us, and we'll actually send it out to an appraiser just like it's a done deal. So, I mean, even though you just have a piece of bare land that you paid $80,000 for, and you're going to spend another $150,000 building, and I'm just making up numbers here. But basically, they'll just go in and they'll appraise it like it's already a done deal, and what's it going to be worth at that point, and that's the value that you're working off of. So, I mean, there's a lot that goes into it, so it's probably a good idea to just kind of come in and sit down and we can talk about it. A lot of builders are building the houses, and then they'll sell them to you after that. So you can, that's a good option for new construction, or you can, do the plans if you're up for up for it.
A little different process with the construction loans and the stages and the checkoffs along the way. It can be a little protracted that way, but yeah.
If I want to do
some folks really want that control of design and that process.
It'd be kind of cool, you know.
If I want to do a remodel of my house, can I come to you, Brett, or to you, Guy? Can you help me with that type of thing and funding if I want to do that for a remodeling project, a big one in my house?
Well, there's a couple ways we could do that. Depending on the equity position, we can look at either doing a cash-out refinance and just reinvesting that extra cash into the remodel side. The other thing you can do is go get an equity line if you can, if it's on an owner-occupied property, and for the most case, and doing the remodel that way. So yeah, there's some options out there.
Probably in this environment, you'll still get a pretty good rate on an equity line of credit, but you want to look at the whole picture. Unless it's something that you have the means to pay off in a few years, eventually those equity lines of credit are going to go up, and you can tell that every time you walk into the bank and say, I want an equity line of credit, and they'll say, great, it's just prime plus, a little margin, and they say, well, what if I lock it in? And they say 8%, so everybody knows rates will go up at some point, so it's probably not a bad idea if you're really thinking on those routes to, look at an equity line, but then also look and see where your rate is on your regular loan. You don't obviously want to go backwards and start that whole amortization schedule over again if it doesn't make sense, but sometimes it does.
And I've been threatening to get with you to talk about a refi, but
I forgot about that.
Refi with a cash out because I need windows and some new flooring. I mean,
and a new hat.
That sounds. I have my Oregon State hat on, so we're good with the hat, Guy. But
I'm not number 3-1 here. I will not say anything bad about the Beavers.
That
period.
Refi with the cash out, because that would then help me lower my payment. I get the refinance benefit of that as well. That's something I'd like to do. Is I've got an opportunity to bring my interest rate down on my monthly payment.
Yeah, it's possible. We can look at it.
We got to come see you.
Well, we'll see what happens with it.
Once you change hats.
I'm kidding, dude. I love the Beavers unless they're physically playing the Ducks, and I still love them.
And it's hard to root against the Ducks, even though you're a Beaver, because they're having such a great season. Okay, we like Mark Helfrich.
Let's focus back down here a little bit more before we get out of here. All right, I want you to know that obviously we've learned today from you guys that there's a lot of activity going on, and just give me an interest rate range that right now here at the end, because everybody's been saying for months and months and months, those rates are going to rise, and they have not done so. So today, at the end of November, December, at the end of the year, what kind are we looking at for USDA conventional rates? I know different rates, and they're not do that, but give me a range that you're giving right now that people may want to know.
Well, the government stuff is down in the threes,
threes,
mid to high threes,
okay,
and the conventional stuff are low fours, and it's going to depend. There's about 26 things that go into quoting an accurate rate. So, it's really difficult when somebody calls me up and says, what's your rate?
I just want you to text it to me.
Oh, I know. I can just.
We get that.
Yeah. It's like, what do you want it to be? Do you want to give me your firstborn to have that 3.2%, or you want one of my kids to take this 5% rate? So, there's just a whole bunch of different rates that I can give, but they're still really good. And by the way, I wasn't one of them saying that these rates are going to go up right away, because I really don't. I don't see them going up right away. They will have to eventually. It's actually healthy for the market to go up some from where they are right now, but I still think we're going to have some decent rates for a little while.
Mm-hmm. Scares me if they go up in our market, in our real estate market here.
You agree with that?
Yeah, I think we're good for the rates hanging low. I'm guessing through most of 2015.
Mm-hmm. I hope you're right on that, actually, because once they go up, the number of available buyers goes down. And what concerns me more than anything else is to hearing you guys today is that we seem to be going into this spiral again of we're selling properties, somewhere else, They're buying here, paying cash. Prices are going up. I forget what I was not here when the assessor what the value of our properties are, but they're going up as well. And if we're going to get back up to where we were again and fall off the cliff, you've seen that once before, Brett, as well, because you were in the mortgage business when the crash hit.
Yeah, I mean, I don't study it a whole lot in that sense, but I just have based off of what little I know in history, I think it's just a cyclical thing, and it will happen again. And I don't think there's any way to avoid it, regardless of
stop it.
how much compliance you put in place.
And Mark Van Holly's in here talking about the disparity between our jobs and our wages and our ability to buy homes. That's got to change as well.
And Brett, how can someone get a hold of you if they want to talk to you about a mortgage?
541-601-6525.
And I know your email is like a what? Email is
it's brett.funk@summitfunding.net.
Summitfunding.net. And of course, Guy is there as well. You're located out there behind Costco as well. So hope you get busy out there. Sounds like you guys are doing pretty well. A lot of stuff going on and a lot coming on.
Yep.
A lot still ahead. And it's all pretty positive. So that's always a good thing. Thanks, guys, for
Great
being
show,
here.
guys.
We'll talk to
Good
you
work.
next trip, next down here in the Real Estate Show. That'll do it for us this Thanksgiving holiday weekend. Hope you have a great rest of your weekend. Make something spectacular go on for you. This show repeats 9 o'clock Sunday morning. You can watch our shows at youtube.com/Real Estate Show Oregon. Pete and Joe, have a great week, and God bless everybody.
Thank you for listening to the original Real Estate Show with Pete Belcastro and Joe Brett, the Real Estate Guys. For advice, guidance, or counsel on any of our topics, or to watch a replay of today's show, visit our website at realestateshowOregon.com. This show is sponsored by RE/MAX, Ideal Brokers of Southern Oregon, Ticor Title, All Cities Property Management, and the Jackson Soil and Water Conservation District. We'll continue our weekly quest to enhance the value of your property and to make you a smart real estate consumer when we gather every Saturday and Sunday on KMED for the one and only original Real Estate Show.